Hello guys, my name is Remik, and in today's video we are going to cover the topic of how to use web scraping mechanism in C# in order to retrieve specific data from any web page. We'll use the Wikipedia as an example just to get the data from the table from that Wikipedia page, and then we'll use that data for the analytic purposes and then process a little bit, format, and then we'll have the output in the console. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, then please hit the subscribe button down below, give me the like, write the comment, and now we're going straight into the video. Alright guys, now I will show you what we are actually interested in, what we retrieve from the website. So here I have found in the Wikipedia the list of the cities by GDP, and for me this is the very interesting topic, and I would like to retrieve all of those rows in the table and also the contents inside of it, so the rank, city, country, also the GDP official one, the population and GDP per capita, and display in the console. So we have to parse properly all the values, and then we can display them, and then we can also order them based on the rank, but we'll do this in the later phase of that video. I would inspect the website. I will use this arrow to select an element to inspect this, because we would like to do it actually based on the selectors. So in here you have the table, so the first one that we'll use to filter this page will be the table, and then inside of it you have the table headers, but also you have the table rows, and we are interested in the table rows. And as you see, I have the row, and inside of it I have the cells, and here I have all of the values. So we'll just filter this page based on the table row, and then we'll retrieve all of 6 cells. I would like to create some very simple console application to retrieve all of the data from that Wikipedia website. So I'll just call it web scraper application, and we'll just create. Now we'll start with installing some Nugget packages. So we'll manage our project, and we have to install HTML agility pack, and also the HTML agility pack CSS selectors.NET Core. Once we have everything installed, I'll create the model for our data, and it will be called city by GDP data. So far, I will only assign all of those headers from our table to the string variables, because we would like to check what we retrieved from the website, and then we'll change the property types to the integers for the rank, also for this billion of the US dollars, and the population, and so on and so forth. So I'll just start with the public string rank, then it will be public string city, then it will be public string country, rank city country, then it will be public string GDP by billion USD, then it was the population, and also GDP per capita. Now I'll create the class that will retrieve for us the list of that city by GDP data. So it will be called city by GDP data scraper. And in here, we'll create one method that will turn for us city by GDP data list get cities by GDP datas. And inside of it, we would like to create the list that will be empty one, GDP data list. It will be the new list of the GDP data. We'll create an HTML document, HTML web. We'll use this one from the HTML agility pack in order to load the website to the memory. And we'll use the load method, and I have to copy the whole URL for it. And inside of it, we'll have this URL. And I would like to take the rows from that website, and the rows based on the table that is displayed here in that Wikipedia website. So I'll write rows equal to HTML document, and then query selector all, and as you remember, we have the table, so it will be table and then table row. So it will retrieve for us all the rows from that table. And then I would like to create the for loop, and for sure the first one in this table will be this header one. So we have to skip the first row. So I'll type int starting from 2, and then it will be less than the rows.count. I'll increment that value, and inside of it, I'll just write cells to get the rows based on the specific index, and then the query selector all, and I'll take the TD, so the cells. I'll return for now our empty list just to check what we have and what we would like to retrieve. So I'll just have the breakpoint here, and we'll go to our program CS, and we'll go here and type var scraper is equal to new city by GDP data scraper, and then we'll invoke this method. As you see, we have a lot of rows. We have 983 rows. And in here we have those table rows. And for each one of those, we have the first one, as I have said, this is the rank, then city, then country, and so on. So the headers, so we have to skip this. And later on, we are getting the actual value. So for instance, the first one is the La Coruña city in Spain, and this is all inside of the cell for the each one of cell. So here we have the rank, probably city, country, and also all the data related to the population and this GDP. So we'll also check. We can also go inside of here and run once again to check those cells, what we have inside of it, and then we can proceed with the actual implementation of the retrieval of those data. Here you have the cells, and inside of it we have everything separated. We have the Aachen city, and also inside of it the TD. We have the inner text as the all of the values. So based on those cells, we'll assign that data to the rank, city, country, and for the rest of those properties. Now, as we know that in each row we'll have only 6 cells, as you see from the rank up to the GDP per capita, we can write the if statement that if cells.count will be equal to 6, then and only then we'll try to parse all of that data. So we can write cities by GDP data list dot add new city by GDP data, will be used later on. And now the first one was the rank. So we'll write var rank, and it will be the cells, the first index, and then the inner text. And we'll also trim that value. We can do this for the rest of those. So var, next one was probably city. Yes, it is city, cells, the first inner text, trim as well. Then country, as far as I remember, I have to make sure. Yeah, city, country, cells, second one, inner text, trim as well. Then it will be called GDP in billion USD, cells, third index, inner text, trim. Then it was the population equals to cells, fourth inner text and trim as well. And the last one was GDP per capita. So the last index, inner text, and the trim. And we can assign all of those. I will just do it like that. Now we'll run our app to check in what state we are actually at in getting all of those data. So I will check the first one, how that data is retrieved, and then also the whole list. So I'll run our app. As you see here, we have an overview of all of those variables. Here we have the rank, it's like 300 plus. Yes, because I saw that the Wikipedia is not giving any more number than the 300 based on that city. So we have 300, we have to get rid of that plus. I see not so good looking breaking space here in the country, so we have to get rid of it. Also in the population and this GDP, I see that we have also some kind of the not good looking sign, so we have to also remove that. I will remove also the breakpoint, and we'll check that we'll have all of that data in here. But yeah, as you see, we have to little bit format that data and then also change the property types for the rank not to be the string, but to be an integer, and also the population, and those two GDPs also can be the numbers, not the string values. At first, we will deal with the replacing the non-breaking space. So I will create a local function that will for us replace it to the string.empty, replace non-breaking space, and it will take the input of the string input, and it will return for us input.replace, and it was this kind of sign, so I will just write it down, and we'll change this to the string.empty. And we can take this method and use in the city and the country. So replace non-breaking space here and here. And inside of it as well. And now we have to retrieve the number from the rank, GDP, two of them, and also the population. So we will go to our model and we'll change all of those to integers at first. Now, as we see, we have the format error, so not the same data types, but we'll solve it. We'll create also one function that will retrieve for us that number, and it will be called extract numeric part. It will take string as an input, and we'll use the regex to take only the number without those very not good looking signs that we had in our strings. So I'll write var match. It will be equal to regex.match, will give us an input of the string, and then we have to take the number, also the number that will contain the comma or the dot, and it will be the positive one. So I'll type the pattern here. Will be the digit with the comma or dot, and the positive one, so the plus. And then if the match is success, if not, then I will return null for it. If it was successful, then we have to return that value, but to replace the comma or replace the dot to the string.empty, just to have the pure number outside of that function. So I will write match.value.replace, and it will be to replace the comma at first to the string.empty, and then I'll use as well the same function, so replace, and I will replace the dot as well to the string.empty. We can use that extract numeric part to and apply to the rank and to GDPs and the population. So we'll change this. We'll use the int try parse for it. So it will be int try parse, and our method was called extract numeric part. I will use this. And it will give us out integer rank. But we forgot about one parenthesis in here. And now for the rest, the same. So int try parse GDP by million $. Then it was the population. So int try parse. And then out integer population. And also here int try parse extract numeric part from it and out integer GDP capita, so the same one. Now I will run our app and we'll check what output we have now in our list of those cities by GDP data. Now we'll check what data we have. And inside of it, as you see, we have the GDP by billion $, without any signs. Also the city and country is perfectly parsed. Alright guys, so now we would like to assign the result from that method to the variable, and then this list can be iterated through and will print out all the rows to the console. So I'll just type var result is equal to that one, and then in the for each loop, for each item in that result, so in that list, we'll print out the name of the specific property. So name of the rank will be the rank, and then the value from that rank, and for the rest of those will be completely the same. So I'll just run our app and we'll check what we have in the console. As you see, the output is as follows. So the first one was the New York City, as far as I remember, and here we have also the New York City, and the Seoul was the fourth one, and we can double check it. Yeah, the New York City is the first one, the value is completely the same as we have in our output in the console, and the Seoul is the fourth one, so our parsing was done properly. Alright guys, and now you're probably asking me, alright Remy, tell us the reason why we are retrieving that data, because so far we are only displaying the data in the console and we are not getting any additional information based on that. So just imagine that we would like to get the information that what is the city in the USA with the highest population based on data that we retrieved. So we will not do it like just going here to the Wikipedia, because we don't have any searching filter or anything like that, but we can do it with the link. So as you see, I have created one method that was called get city with the highest population in the USA. We are giving as an input that list that we retrieved from that Wikipedia, and we are returning data where the country is United States. We are ordering this by descending population, and we are getting the first one. So we can go to the program CS, we'll just comment out that one, and we'll write the console.writeLine scrapper.get city with the highest population in the USA, and then result. And as you see, when we run now our app, then we'll get the one result, what is the highest population in the USA based on those countries and all of those data that we retrieved. As you see, we have the output that the New York City has the highest population based on the data that we retrieved from the Wikipedia website. So as you see, you have the very different purposes. Based on that, you can filter all of that data. You can just do whatever that you actually like, but it will have some additional features, not only those that you have in the table on a certain website. So it's a very useful thing just to scrape the web if you're actually interested in some kind of data and some kind of statistics based on that. Alright guys, so that's the end of this video. I hope that you liked the way that it was described. It was helpful for you. If yes, then hit the subscribe button down below, give me a like, write the comment, and see you in the next one.